we are live. And today we're going to be talking about how to double down on appreciation and double your profits in 2021. I can't even believe it's 2021 in just a few days. So I'm super excited because I have Curtis with AM Cards. And we also have a special guest who is getting ready to have a baby on the way, third one. Barry Jenkins. So I'm really, really excited. And my name is Tara Carter. I am a local real estate agent and one of your moderators, as well as Barry with LabCoatAgents. And Curtis is, if you guys are not familiar with AM Cards, oh my goodness, it is a game changer. And if anything, he is going to come from contribution to be able to share with us really how we can maximize and double down for our profits. And you have to keep in mind, gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. And the more you express gratitude for what you have, the more likely you will have more to express gratitude for. And I believe Zig Ziglar is the one who said that. And because gratitude and appreciation is the highest form of energy, for those that don't know, is somebody like Curtis is able to help us show our clients how much we really appreciate them and coming from contribution. So Curtis, will you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Well, yeah, I will. About 10 years ago or so, I wrote this book, Appreciation Marketing. There it is. How to Achieve Greatness Through Gratitude. And did a lot of speaking and training. And, one of the things that I realized is that like 95% of every room that I was in, I knew was going to leave the room and do nothing with what we actually talked about. They took a lot of notes, a lot of great ideas and strategies. And then they'd go back to doing exactly what it is that they were doing as far as their appreciation and gratitude. We call it an appreciation marketing strategy. And actually time blocking and making it intentional to reach out and make sure you stay on top of mind and showing appreciation and gratitude. And so I knew they wouldn't. So then 5 years after I wrote this book, I ended up starting my own software company called AM Cards. And yeah, that's where we are now. And it just makes it an easy system to be able to quickly and easily put a card in the mail, and you can put your own pictures on it. I'll show it to you guys in a little later. And I got a special LabCoatAgents offer that I'll give you guys that you guys can get set up, waiving the entire setup fee and stuff like that. So we'll dive into that in a little bit. But yeah, your sphere of influence and the people, and that's the highest and best ROI that we can have is investing back into our own databases, no matter what business we're in, but especially in real estate. And so we have amazing Barry Jenkins here. And I'll let you do the introduction for him because, sells 900 homes a year. He's a master on the automation side. But I'd like, Tara, if you don't mind sharing a little more about Barry, and then we can kind of just have a nice little fireside chat.
Well, I love that Barry is actually getting ready to take a little leave with the third baby due like any day, could come in the next hour, who knows? So Barry, this may be a little while before you can do another webinar for a little bit. So if you could please tell them what you specialize in and what area you serve, that would be awesome.
Sure. I run a team in Virginia Beach. We did just under 900 transactions last year, the #1 team in America, or in Virginia, and the #9 large team in America. I run my team at a super high level, try not to get out of sweatpants as often as possible. Not kidding, actually. And, just really through automation, and I leverage automation so much that I'm actually able to focus on people a lot. So the robots handle the noise, and then that allows me to really give people the time and attention they deserve. So that's why AM Cards was such a good fit, because I used another service that they did their thing. But it was a big deal for me to go into that platform. Like, okay, we're going to go into the platform today and we're going to set up cards and but this is, it integrated so neatly into my workflows that, we were able to make it happen. So I don't know if I really even answered the question, but that's a little bit about me.
No, I love that. And you did answer the question. And what
Okay.
I think that really comes down to is what you perfected is you automated, and then you're able to focus more on the quality, and your team can focus on the quantity. Because if you take over, most agents don't focus on as much as the automation. And I'll be following up with you because there's probably some things that I can learn from you as well. There's always things that we can learn. And what's great about what I love that Curtis has created is Curtis has found a way to find a way for us to acknowledge and appreciate our clients and the current clients that we meet, and or actually maybe even acknowledge the future ones that we want. I don't know about you guys, but I actually I'll be honest. In the beginning, I was told you have to write 5 note cards a day. And I was like, yeah, 5 note cards a day, 20 calls a day. This is great. I could do this. And then it was just really fascinating how those cards just kind of built up and I never really wrote them. So what I came up with was a system to where every Friday I have a note section of people that I met in my phone throughout the week. And if I get a business card, I always have a pen or marker on me to be able to write like where I met them from, put a note in my phone to say, hey, thank you for having a great valet service the last week when I showed up at Mastro's at dinner at Thursday, like whatever it is. And then on Fridays are the days that I'll actually sit down, and it takes, what are we talking, 30 minutes to sit down and write a note card. And it's once Curtis systems came into place, when I got introduced to him, it's so much easier because the template's already there. So and most of my things that I want to say are already written, and I can just finagle it a little bit and then send it off, and or leverage it to somebody else of just an address and what the information needs to say, and just say, hey, use the thinking of you card and just say, this one little extra sentence, throw that in there. Like they don't know whether I wrote it or not. And that's the best part. So Curtis, I'm so grateful that you were able to create a system for that. And I think that people just need to realize that acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. And that was my word for 2020 was abundance. And boy, did we get a whole lot of everything. So I don't know if you guys come up with words for the new year, but if you don't, I suggest you do. Do you guys have one for this year?
I need to pick one.
Well, I'm going with consistency because I took a 6-week vacation. I learned to take more time for myself, and as well as not making sure that I don't lose out on the clients that I currently have. 6-week vacation, sold $5.5 million just from referrals. I literally did 0 lead generation. And how do you do that? Well, if I didn't have the 7 levels system set up for the last few years, and I wasn't loving and appreciating my clients, especially through handwritten notes and items of value and gifts or the box of brownies to say thank you that you can send with the cards from AM Cards, then I wouldn't have the referrals coming in, because my business can thrive. I know that if I don't do any lead generation, I can survive on 4 referrals a month, which generate me a $250,000 in GCI. So that's not horrible. I can live on that, and that is at a bare minimum if I just work the referral business. And if anyone's looking for systems on referrals, I would suggest to pick up a book called 7 Levels of Communication, written by Michael Mayer. He was my first coach, and I have been now a coach for him for the last few years. And that changed my life, because then I'm able to use systems like Curtis has and work the referral business. And I've never cold called. And I think we'll close just about 30 million this year again.
Wow, that is amazing. Michael Mayer is great. We talk about him in our Referral Secrets program. And, that what you just said, Tara, is so cool, because you don't just get referrals, right? We earn referrals, and we earn referrals by who we are and how we're showing up in people's lives. And Tara, you're showing up in people's lives. I know that you're out and about, you meet people, but then you're also very intentional with following up and making sure you stay top of mind with them. And the reason why you earn so many referrals that are coming back to you. So, doing that, and then also coupling it with some of the things that Barry does with automation. Because I love what you said before, Barry, like you carry a lot of the noise with automation. Do you mind touching on that a little bit more for some people who don't even have a clue what Zapier is and things that you do to tie things together?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of reflecting as Tara was talking, I could not be any more different. Like, I want to like people as much as Tara, and I want to oh, they were really nice to me. Let me write them a card. That's incredible. That's honestly probably the best way to do it. And what's great, Curtis, is you help me be that person without having to be that person. I know there's value there, but that's not organically or authentically who I am. It's not that I don't appreciate people. Maybe it's because I'm a guy. I mean, that sounds so sexist, but I just don't think about it. And so what AM Cards allows me to do is to use the logical side of my brain, not the emotional side, which men tend to function in anyway. And I can say hey, there's value in making someone feel appreciated. And so this is what I'm going to do. And, as far as the noise goes, look, I've got a database of 97,000 people. My business was built off of internet leads, mainly because I wasn't a person that worked my sphere the way that I should. My broker taught me to buy a dishwasher for my past clients when we closed and pass out 5 business cards a day. That was my training as a new agent. And it's not surprising I didn't sell a home my first year in the business. And so, I've got this massive database. I'm remarketing to all of them. And about 2,000 times a month, these people do something significant on my website. It's constant noise, constant. So-and-so saved a home, so-and-so shared a home, so-and-so. And you have to make a decision. What am I going to do today? Right. And I'm not organized enough to say okay, my word is consistency. Again, another trait that I think is amazing that I'm not. Well,
I picked the word because I have to work on it.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is I'm not, and I'm hopefully it doesn't, I'm saying that's a character trait that I respect because it's not something that I naturally am good at. And that's actually why I automate so much, because I forget things easily. If I have to remember something, if I have to pay attention to it, there's going to be a problem. So what I do is I just really focus on what's annoying, where do I mess up, what's broken, and then I try to find a way to implement something to protect me from screwing up. And that's why with AM Cards, when someone in my database that owns a home and engages one of my ads that I'm running for homeowners, they create a HomeBot report. It sends a signal, I'll just say, to Zapier, which then sends a signal to AM Cards, which I use the handwritten font. So it looks like I wrote it. And it's a really, I put a lot of thought into the card. And it's cheesy because I like dad jokes, and I like the one that says nacho. What is it? Nacho
average realtor, and is
nacho. Totally ridiculous. And it's a big sombrero, and it's totally over the top, which fits me. And I just say look, we did really well, but this is what's going on in the market. We would love to talk to you. And man, the response has been amazing from that card. And so then, anyway, I'm talking too much. You guys.
Well, I actually love what you just said, because I think that people need to hear such a raw conversation and realize that not as realtors, and people see success in different ways. As realtors, what you just said is that you actually appreciate the way that I do business, and I actually appreciate the way you do business, because I need to learn more of the automation side, because that would actually make my life easier and being able to work smarter, not harder. Now, there's so many different things, and I love the rule, which is going from entrepreneurial to purposeful. It's going from E to P, which basically the shortest version, the best way to describe that is when you're an agent, you have a shelf of everything you need to do, right? You have to create your website. You have to create and learn the buyer presentation, the seller presentation. You have to automate, learn AM Cards, learn Zapier and how you leverage that out. There's so many different things. I don't like the word overwhelming because it's negative. It's really fascinating how many different ways there are to do real estate. And it's really interesting that we get caught up in these things and we think that we can multitask when multitasking is a lie if you ever read The One Thing. So what's cool about it is my best advice is I I actually would like to, I'm going to come back and pick your brain, but I would like to take one thing off the shelf, right? And focus on it, take it off the shelf for 30 days and then put it back on the shelf. So I would like to focus on automation more and learn how I can actually do that through my CRM and through AM cards and automate that and focus on that for 30 days. And then I put it back on the shelf. And if I finish it early in 30 days, then awesome. Then I could put it back and then I can maybe refocus on doing a listing presentation, whatever it is. It's just, we just try to do too many things at once. And Curtis, I know that you have some other automation things that really help with that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we can do. And like, I'll give you one tip because it is overwhelming. Because when people hear automation and they hear all these different things, I feel like, you know, some people like dive into it and they really want to learn it. But I think that the people that are so slow is they got to get ready to get ready to get ready. This is not like overnight Barry has just put all these systems together. And like what you said, Tara, start and pick one thing and work on it. And then put it back on the shelf. You got it going. You got that system running, and now it's working without you. So when I'm doing trainings or I'm doing some coaching, one of the things that I share is I say, you know, here's one thing that anybody can do. Is that as you're meeting people, whether it's virtually or whether it's out and about, like exactly what you do, Tara, you can be purposely around following up and making sure that they remember who you are. You're at a networking event and you happen to meet somebody. I know COVID times is a lot different right now. I'll give you an example. I did a training in Daytona Beach years ago, and there was this guy, Tom, that was there. And at the end, I just wrapped up very simply. I said, guys, take our greatness challenge. It's 1 card a day for a month. Can you handle 1 card a day? And I'll tell you what, if you want to cheat and you want to take notes throughout the week, and then Monday morning or Tuesday morning, you want to do 7 of them, do 7 of them. You can batch it. You know, it doesn't have to be 1 a day, but do 30 over 30 days, and not a campaign, not 30 of the same card out to the people, because that's not really heartfelt. So I gave him some examples of different things he could do. Literally the next week, he was at a Mercedes dealership for a networking event because I think they were releasing a new car model or something. And an attorney sponsored the event, bought the wine, bought the hors d'oeuvres. So he took a picture of the showroom and he put it on a card and followed up with the attorney and said, thank you for sponsoring the night. I met a lot of great people. I just wanted to, you know, say I appreciate you and for what you did. Guy got the card, called Tom, said, my wife and I would like to meet with you. He went over to the house, was hoping for the best, didn't know what was exactly going on, walked away with a $1.2 million listing agreement signed. And he called me up and he's like, Curtis, this stuff is kind of cool. Otherwise, I would have never sent that card. I would have probably never even thought to send it. Maybe not even an email. But now he's on his radar, and that attorney knows tons of realtors. So that's just being like watching events. So when you see something on Facebook, somebody has a baby, just grab the picture real quick and throw it on a card and say, congratulations. That's things you can't do when you go to CVS or Walgreens or Walmart and buy cards. You can't get a picture of their baby on it. It just doesn't work that way. So, and you can put your branding on the back, and I'll go over it. But those are the types of things that anybody can do. And in real estate, your personal life and your personal are your business. And you're only just one connection away from opening up even more doors for you.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I love where your book said, you know, technology has only come so far that computer generated greeting cards are becoming more personal and more distinctive than anything that you could pick out at the rack. And the exact example of that is I can grab a photo from Facebook of your wedding or your new baby, or I can take the picture at the restaurant that I was just at where I met you because you gave me great valet service or you were a great concierge, and that's easy. And then you just slap it on the card and it is personal, and it's actually going to be more personal. Yes, does it take time to go into an individual store and be able to generate that card? It does. And in a minute, I'll grab the card that you actually sent me recently. And it was actually a picture of me doing a webinar, and you put like a little thing saying, where are my brownies? And it's on my fridge.
You're going to have to go get it. I forgot I said that. That's
it's literally great. On my fridge, and it's hilarious. And you picked like the perfect, so I'm going to guess what you did is you watched the webinar, you went back to the webinar, and you picked the picture where I was like doing something ridiculous.
Honestly, it was just kind of random luck.
I love it. It's so great. And I mean, how much time did that take you? 45 seconds?
I did it right after the webinar, and it took me 30 seconds. I mean, upload the picture and to be able to knock that out for sure. It's really quick. And then, while it's on my mind, here are some things that you might want to consider just to speed up time, because we only have so much time. Is number one, if you want more referrals, make sure you're doing a really good job appreciating the referrals that you're getting. And also, don't just appreciate the commission check. Appreciate the behavior of somebody sending you that referral, because behavior rewarded is behavior repeated. So if you want more referrals, appreciate the referrals that you're getting. It's a very simple thing. And I would go out of your way to do even more with that. And note, I saw just a thing pop up. They're not digital. We only do real cards. I saw a comment pop up. They're only real cards. We don't do digital cards. And here's the reason why. Because showing up in somebody's mailbox versus showing up in somebody's inbox is the difference between being remembered and being deleted.
Ooh.
So think about that for a second. Showing up in their mailbox versus inbox is the difference between being remembered and being deleted. And so in real estate, so much so, because everywhere you turn, there's a real estate agent. So what kind of tools can you put in your back pocket to make sure that people remember you? I'll tell you one thing funny that I just did recently, and I hope he calls me. So I've been trying to land this one account. It's a pretty big deal. And I know that AM cards would fit in so well with their platform. So what I did was I bought a 4-foot mailbox, right? It's one that you pour like 100 pounds of sand in the bottom. It doesn't go in the ground. It's actually a big plastic, huge mailbox. And I bought an armoire box that you could like hang clothes in. And I put that in there. I filled it up with peanuts. And I sent a greeting card and put it inside the mailbox, taped the box all up. So now he got a box, opens up its own mailbox, and he opens up the mailbox and gets my card.
That's cool.
I did that because I wanted an impact. And one of the things that you guys want to do is think about like, stop making an impression and start making an impact. And if you want to stand out from all of the other noise that's out there in real estate, everybody has a cousin, a friend, or somebody who does it. You want to do things differently. And I think that both you, Tara, and Barry, there's a reason why you guys are such rock stars, is you guys show up in people's lives in a way that makes people want to come back and do business again with you guys.
Oh, absolutely. And what you've also done is, so this was a template that's actually on your site, and it says, just for the record, you're awesome, and has a little record. And then look what he did. He took a picture of me doing a webinar, and he put, "Where are my brownies?" as a little bubble. And then it looks so real. It's not impersonal by any means. Tara, thank you for being a loyal customer. I appreciate you. And it has his signature. Like, it's just so simple. Like, why reinvent the wheel if you have these systems? And I know Barry loves that because it's automation, right, Barry?
Is my branding on the back?
Yes.
No. Okay. AM cards. Because you can also take the AM cards branding off.
I do.
And you can put your own on. So I didn't know if I put my own other branding on the back or not.
No, like I have my flamingos on mine on the back, and then it's just genius. And I the one thing that I'd like to stress too is that there are steps to writing. These are called power notes, note cards, greeting cards, whatever you want. I like the word power note because it's powerful, right? You really have to make sure that you appreciate their behavior and not just the referral, which I love that you said that. I actually wrote that down. So one of the there's like 7 steps to a power note. And one of those would be, using unbranded cards with a symbol or monogram that represents you. It's a personal note. So no card with the company logo. Like when your mom sends you a card that says happy birthday, does she have mom logo on it? She doesn't, because it's personal. So using unbranded cards and AM cards allows you to actually take out their branding and put your own branding. You can also change the ink. A second step to a power note would be using blue ink, because blue ink is actually more positive, and you can change the ink to whatever color font you want, which I love. But blue ink typically is more positive. The third thing would be using words that are more of you, not the words I, me, or my. And I have to say, out of the 7 steps to a power note, that was probably one of the hardest things that I had to do, because, you say, "It was so great meeting you. I really enjoyed your company." Well, instead I could say, "It was so great meeting you. You are great company to be with." I used
Wow.
you instead of I, or I appreciate your referrals. Your referrals do not go unnoticed and are greatly appreciated. And you take out the word I, me, my, and you only focus on you, and you focus on traits that complement them back.
And one of the things in the book, chapter 5 of my book, is called Chocolate Frosted Dog Crap. and the reason why we had this, and this actually had the most impact, it's been written up by a lot of different people, and it was kind of funny. The whole idea of this is that when you're reaching out to try to get something in return and you're disguising it as appreciation and gratitude, it comes across as being disingenuous, and it's just not authentic, right? It ends up landing that it's the same thing as if I was to send you a birthday card and say, happy birthday, Tara. I hope everything's going wonderful with your family, your business, everything. And then I put P.S. the greatest compliment in the world is a warm referral. Oh, by the way, Tara, I'm never too busy for your referral. Well, if I'm sending you a happy birthday card and I'm celebrating you and your life, leave the last line completely off. It's like putting frosting on dog crap and calling it chocolate cake. It's just not, it smells literally. We call it sending out poopaganda. So when you're sitting, what you can do is you can sit and you can just be there and say, okay, what's the energy that I'm receiving when I read this card? And put yourself in the receiver's shoes when you read your cards. And that me, like you just said, that was awesome. I just took the note on that one because I didn't catch that when I read the book the first time. So that type of information I just wanted to share with you. So making sure that when there's a time and a place to ask for the business. We all know that. It's just that when you mix the two, sometimes it can come across as being disingenuous, and you don't want to do that because then it becomes a marketing piece and it goes in the garbage versus more of a warm and fuzzy that might just go on the mantle.
Absolutely. Right. And I think one of the fourth thing for Power Notes is being specific, and you just touched on that, being specific in your praise, like identifying and acknowledging a characteristic, a talent, a unique quality about them. You are a great father. You can tell the pride and joy that you have for your children. And it was great to watch your interaction with them when I met you at the restaurant yesterday. As you acknowledge a specific praise that they did, or the manager that helped you at Macy's the other day. And then the other thing that you just touched on too is actually the fifth step to a power note, which is leveraging the power of positive projection. So identifying a personal characteristic that you want to improve and express respect for others who possess that quality, whether it be happiness or wealth or balance, etc. Barry, would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think, Amazon has changed the way we buy a lot of things. And for me personally, I'm starting to get to the point that I would rather wait for it to come in the mail and obsessively watch the tracking number than I would go to the store, have a limited number of options, and not have the ability to read the reviews. So I'm used to that anticipation. I enjoy it. And so I think a service like AM Cards is uniquely poised to kind of integrate right within the way culture is moving. I wanted to share my screen real quick because I want to conceptually help folks understand some things. So this is the past client automation that my team uses. So when a deal closes, I won't get into this part, but basically the stage has changed to closed. The second that happens, there's a bunch of automations that automatically happen. I'm going to skip a lot of this, but basically for a year, there's going to be casual emails being sent that I put a lot of time and thought into because I don't want to be annoying. The part of the drip campaign is that 2 brownies and a card are sent. And then a call action, voicemail, text drop, or text message from me, being the CMO of my brokerage, asking for client reviews. And then I'm remarketing to these past clients. And when they save a home, there's an email that goes out, how you been? And I haven't added it to this, but then a week later to the past clients, I also send a just thinking about you card. And so so a past client saves a home on my website. Most agents will be like, hey, you just saved a home. Do you want to talk? We don't do that. This is just us being serendipitous in our approach to checking on them and, you know, giving them gifts and sending them things. And I wanted to make sure that, because if an agent does happen to leave I've got 55 agents now. And so if an agent leaves by chance, I want them to have an affinity to my office, to my agents. And so now AM Cards is a huge part of that because it's connecting those two worlds, and I'm able to personally reach out to them. And so this is an idea of how I am, for my brokerage, for my team, for my agents, and for myself. I'm making people feel loved. I'm getting reviews automatically. And it's like very organic in how we did it, because authenticity in our culture sells more than anything else.
Yes.
Amen.
So yeah, definitely agree with everything you guys are saying.
I know that we're going to get some questions on your automation drips, and those are going to want to be able to see those. And I believe we just got one. Do you have another webinar that is with LabCoatAgents or somewhere else that we can find that? Or is that something that we can schedule and have our wonderful admin team that's on the call help put together?
Yeah, I don't have it anywhere. I mean, that's a PDF. And why don't I do this? Why don't I share?
Post it in the files under LabCoatAgents.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. And then for those that are impatient, just take a screenshot. Hold on.
And if those miss it, if you're like driving to, please don't get in an accident. You can always go back. This is recorded and it's back on YouTube as well. It'll be there in the next 48 hours, and you can always go back and screenshot it.
Yep.
And
air, land, and sea. That's how I look at this stuff. When I know I've got somebody, whether it's a past client or someone who's acting intentional on my website from a digital marketing perspective, we go after it. I mean, there's no stone left, and it's all automated, and it allows my agents to have very long, substantive appointments to where they're not answering the call, responding to text. All of those things are managed for them. So when they do get a human that's nice to them, that has a real estate related need or is a referral source, they can just kind of like enjoy. And that's the misnomer I think about automated stuff, is people think you do that so that you don't have to deal with people. And if someone's doing that, they're just they're misusing the whole purpose of it. Is it's a people business. It's a contact sport.
If you don't like people, you might as well just get into a different business.
Yeah. I'm gonna real quick. I had a couple of people ask. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm gonna show inside of AM Cards, and then I'm gonna give them the offer that I told you guys about. Ooh. So I'm gonna just share my screen real quick. And I want to show you guys this. So this is the inside of AM Cards, and you can put your own signatures in here. You can sign as many times as you want. Put your kids in here. Business partner, spouse, you can, whatever, just grab your iPad. I sign it from Cinderella and from the Incredible Hulk and stuff, and send it to my niece and nephews, and it's fun. We do a lot of crazy fun stuff. Drip campaigns are nice. You can build them in here. You can do after a happy home anniversary, and then you can do happy birthday. You can set it all up and then just forget about it. And you can take it to the whole nother level, because we do have an API that connects into many different CRMs. We do Zapier. Hey, we Googled this the other day, and it said Zapier rhymes with happier. And so I was like, is it Zapier? Is it Zapier? I always feel like, I don't know. I don't know all these different.
I don't know. I've just called it Zapier. Oh, will you tell them what AM stands for? Oh yeah. AM stands for appreciation marketing. And it actually had two different meanings in the beginning. One was appreciation marketing, of course, AM cards, appreciation marketing cards. And then the other one, when I found out that we could auto trigger cards, we called it automagic cards. So the cards could auto magically be sent. And so I know it's corny, but I love it. I'll stick with appreciation marketing, but cards can auto magic. I was going to trademark it and everything. So we have help videos. You can put the history of all the cards that you ever sent. This is a different account, but I just wanted to log in and show you this. So I did a training the other day. Oh, this is a fun one. We had an agent send out this card to 150 of their database. And they sent, I'll tell you what, they had seven contracts in 30 days, because it started so many conversations, and people actually took a picture of it and tagged them on Facebook and said, I got your card. And other people's like, I didn't get mine. And so he was collecting more addresses, and it was unbelievable.
So just a lot, humor goes a long way. And that's like what Barry definitely has that with a lot of the cards that he sends out too. And we have stuff for sale by owners and safety tips. 65
will you
ways
show that one, the at least one of the part ones or part twos? That was one of my favorites because then you can actually change the branding on it as well if you wanted to and recreate it, or you can just send it. Like the verbiage is there. You don't have to keep it simple. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's there for you.
And we can do this kind of stuff. What it's nice is like for this one right here, this is a friend of mine that passed the Fireman's Academy, and him.
And you took a picture and put congratulations.
And I put the whole family on the inside, and she's been one of my customers for many years. She's in a network marketing company called Rodan and Fields, and she's a top leader over there. And she has pretty much her whole team using it, and I stay in touch with her quite a bit. This was actually kind of fun. I actually even had before and after pictures of this kitchen. So there was the before and after, and then so he'd send this out to the neighborhood afterwards, saying that we just did this kitchen kind of thing. So that was kind of fun. But let me just show you how simple and easy our interface is. So if I want to go into the cards and go into say all, one of the top sent cards is like that. This is the one I sent you, Tara. Mm-hmm. Just for the record, you're awesome. We have, just checking in, just a lot of random cards too. But just to show you, just for the record, you're awesome. And I can upload a picture simply. And there's a stud
Barry.
Right. And then, so there that's
Don't
just
ruin a perfectly good card by putting my face on it.
Well, listen, we're not going to see your face for a little bit with the baby coming. So
There you go.
And then I'm going to write the message.
Yeah, will you show this part? This is my favorite part. So this part actually saves me a whole lot of time, and time is money in this business. And you should know your dollar per hour. I know my dollar per hour went up a little bit, and I am worth $236 an hour at the moment. And that is a whole world to win a lot from where it was in the beginning. And this saved me time. Instead of having to go get the card, put it in a card, go pick out a card, then put a stamp on it, put the address on it, make sure I have a pretty return label on it, and then go actually drop. That's the tricky part. Actually going and dropping it off at the post office. I don't know if any other people are like me. I'm like the worst returner ever, or like I'm the person that will write a whole bunch of note cards and I'll find them like a year later of all those note cards that I went and wrote and wasted that time. You simplified it. Kristen just said me too. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
And I'm gonna,
you simplified that.
And watch this. If you want to create like a thank you for the referral or nice to meet you card or happy birthday card, just put the first name on the inside. Blah, 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 blah. And I just want to show you, yes, you can change the color because I have my signatures in color as well. And I'm going to go back and edit this because I have until midnight to edit it. And then you can make the text smaller, bigger, really quickly. Like, look how simple this is. The user interface is so simple to use this, which is nice. If it's not simple, I know you guys are not going to use it. I can change the back of the card by deleting this. The only thing you can't brand is where the ID of the card goes, because that also goes underneath the stamp to make sure the right card goes in the right envelope. So actually, I'm going to go into images and just throw this branding on the back. The cards, I'm going to actually send him a box of 6 gourmet fudge brownies. Boom, done.
Which my clients love, and my referral partners. If I ever get a referral, they get a box of brownies. And they come really pretty, and it's like white box with a little red tape on it with this little card that says thank you, and it's just really cute.
I got a little cool thing that I'm going to be doing. I'm just putting my order in probably tomorrow. I'm ordering bamboo boxes, like wooden boxes that these gourmet fudge brownies are going to go in. So just an upgrade to like a little, because we have some pretty high-end clients, and like some people like, you know what, well, I want to send something even nicer. We really like your box. So we hand put twine on it. We have a hand stamp that says enjoy. It does come like a really nice package. So we're going to have a nice option.
You scroll up to the card again to like edit the card. All right. Yeah. So if I go back to more steps of writing a power note, one of the things are, so you have this, the inside bottom, right? Can we angle that at a left to right angle?
Of course you can. And watch this. I can even draw a little smiley face. You can grab your thing however you want.
So the reason why I asked that is another step to a power note is you should be writing from a left to a right angle, because the power, so first of all, it should be blue because blue is more positive. Second thing is it should be angled at a level from left to right at a slant, like he has it there. And the reason being is because when people read from left to right, they're reading from low to high, which is the power of positive projection. So you're writing in a blue color, which is positive ink, and then you also have a positive projection of it to the side at a slant where they're reading up. It's, I don't know where that came from. I don't know. That's what I was trained on. That's what I do.
And in the cards that I've automated, I'll use, like, I'll write in black and then I'll put like something in an angle in green or just a different color to make it like, you know, me thinking of something else, and making it short and sweet. It works.
Here's a couple cool cards I just sent recently. Like, I'm sure, Tara, you know Dan Grebe.
I'm so proud of him. This was such a cool story.
He's a guide. He trained for a year with Chris Nicky, and it was the first ever
man with Down syndrome that completed a Ironman. That was his son.
Triathlon, right? Yeah. So like the 2.5 something mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, and those in kilometers. But like, isn't that cool? So I took screenshots of ESPN.com with where all these pictures were posted.
And you sent that to him?
Yeah, I just sent it to him.
I have goosebumps. Why did I think of that? I know, Dan. Why did I think of that? I'm really jealous right now.
Isn't that cool?
Like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. We are so automated. Like, we can just literally copy and paste from an article. Google Alerts, by the way, you should have all your clients on Google Alerts so you know everything about them. Google. And that's my morning news in the morning. I don't know about you guys, but you know what's really cool is that when you have a Google alert on anybody, you should have one on yourself, and then you should also have them on the clients that you like to do business with. Curtis has probably got like an overload of people he needs to follow, but
yeah, tell how Google Alerts work, because those are important.
So what Google Alerts is, and it literally takes 5 seconds. You just Google Alerts, and it connects to your Gmail account, and you just type in keywords. So for example, the first Google alert that you should create is going to be your own name. So mine is Tara Carter. It is Tara Carter Realtor. It's Tara D. Carter. It's Tara Carter Great Florida Homes. It's Tara Carter Fort Lauderdale. It's anything that's possibly ever going to come up on the internet with my name on it. I also have developers that I like to work with. I have high-end clients that I know about their business. I have their business name on it. I have local Fort Lauderdale special events, local Fort Lauderdale restaurants, grand openings. I have a million Google alerts. Then what happens is the newspaper does not print until about 2-3 a.m. in the morning. So they send out a online version of the newspapers across the world between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. So what I wake up to in the morning is essentially probably about 20 to 30 emails on Google Alerts, whatever came up with the topics that day. Some of them don't pertain to anything. However, a perfect example was 2 weeks ago, I have a Google alert on this developer that I am dying to get one of his projects. And he's Brazilian. And I get his Google alert. I had his company in a Google alert. And I don't speak Spanish. So its company name is a little Spanish. And a Google alert came in and it said actually, it was a link to his name in an article in Brazil and a Brazilian magazine, and that just got printed, and it was in Spanish, and it was saying that he just won this award. How did I know that it said that? Because I just copied, pasted it into Google Translate, translated it, found out he won an award in Brazil, and then guess who called him at 7:35 in the morning and said, "Congratulations, I am so proud of you." And what do you think the first thing he said to me was?
How the heck did you know that?
Dude, yeah, I didn't know you read the Brazilian magazine newspaper. And I was like, well, I know that you just won an award there, and I wanted to be the first one to congratulate you, at least on American soil. So congratulations. And he just sent me a $100 Starbucks card to say thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. You know, the first time I ever heard about this, one of my dear friends and actually an investor in AM Cards sells private jets and services for a living. And he's one of my best friends. This guy rescues horses, and he has a pickup truck and drives into New York City and meets up with billionaires, lives in Connecticut. And it's just like such a down to earth guy. And he told me, he's like, I put Google alerts in on these people because you never know when it's going to be written about them, that they just donated $10,000 to the kids foundation of this city or this or that. And he goes, I want to be on top of that stuff so I can create these cards and drop them in the mail. And he's won a lot of deals just because he does that. And so what you're doing is awesome, by the way. And my wife is Brazilian. Actually, she's in Brazil right now. I think I'm going over next week. And so if you ever need anything on that front, she can do translating. She speaks Portuguese and Spanish, so she can totally help.
Well, perfect. I love that. Well, the Google Alerts is genius. And you guys are the people that don't have it set up. You literally are going to be amazed. It's like typing in a keyword or typing in a hashtag. It is that easy. It's one word, enter, one word, enter. Like it's the easiest, simplest thing ever.
I totally forgot this. And I know that people have asked that they want to sign up. So let me go ahead and just show you this real quick. I'm going to go over the pricing real quick. So here's what this is what typically it is. It's normally $295 if you look at the top, and it's $39 a month. And $39 a month gives you access to purchase all of our cards at wholesale pricing, which is $2 a card. And that's including the 55-cent first class stamp.
I mean, a Hallmark card isn't even $2.
And what's cool about this too, is that we bonus you 20 cards a month. So if you don't use all of those credits in a given month, they roll over for a whole year. So we try to make it an absolute no-brainer. So it's like, you know, if you had a gym membership and you didn't go for 5 months, you can't go back 3-4 months ago and like say, I'm going to go get strong now. Like with this, like I wanted to build it so it just makes you feel good. So like if you don't use it as much as you wanted to throughout some months, well, you got a whole bunch of holiday cards. You want to do a campaign for a client event, or you want to send a few boxes of brownies, you can use your credits for the brownies. It's campaigns. You can do campaigns as well. Like we talked about personal branding. There's no contracts. There's no commitments at all. And then what we're going to do for this website that's at the bottom there, it's a direct link to waive the entire $295 setup fee. And I'm still going to honor no contracts and no commitments. So $39, you're going to get 20 cards bonused and there's no contracts. So amcards39.com, you can sign up right now and get that all taken care of. And just know that if somebody wants to put it in the comments real quick, that would be that way.
We just got a great question. So Linda signed up in June and she has not used it. So she's asking, what do you recommend that she uses her credits?
Happy New Year cards right now. We got some really cool Happy New Year cards in our system, and you can upload a list. You can send them on out or design a birthday campaign. Check this out. So what if you went to a local local business, you know, or a local cafe in your community that you absolutely love? Work a deal out with them and say, hey, I'm going to send birthday cards out for a free cupcake. Can you just take a tally and I'll come and square up with you at the end of every month? And they all say yes. You're supporting a local business. I love this idea. I got it from, I was actually at a big convention that Keller Williams had called Family Reunion. And then I actually popped into a marketing session. I was there as a vendor, but I just popped in and I listened. And this is what this lady said she did. And so I share this all the time. I think it's a wonderful idea. And then but here's the cool part. There'll be probably a third that will actually redeem it. They'll all think they got something, whether they go and redeem their cupcake or not. Hopefully they do. If they don't, they still got a card from you and they feel like they received something. So that's really kind of cool. And you can set it up and forget it. So if you have 100 birthdays, you can set it up right now and the cards will go out 5 days before their birthday. You can set that all up. And of course, we have a VIP team that if you have any questions, they'll help you out and set it all up. If you have any questions, we have help videos as well.
What you're saying is we can automate it.
You can automate it, but here's what's also neat about it. I always say one thing you don't want to automate as much as possible is your heart. Like you wouldn't want your assistant to call your best friend and wish him a happy birthday. No. It just doesn't go over well. Like it's just different. Like there's certain things you might want to take off the plate and like you do.
Unless I want to be fired.
If you're going to put together a nice birthday card like this is cool. But know that you're also going to get an email that the card's on it, that the card's going out. And when that happens, you have until midnight to be able to edit the card. So like if you need to go back in and edit that card, you can edit it, because maybe little Johnny just hit his first home run in Little League. Take the picture off of Facebook, throw it on the inside and say, happy birthday. Oh, by the way, I saw this picture online and I just thought it was so cute. Congratulations, little Johnny hitting his first home run. They just make it personal. That's part of your power note strategy that you talk about.
It's genius. And actually the cupcake thing is something my team has been doing for the last 11 years. I've only been in business for 5, with our local Kilwins ice cream place. And we send out every home anniversary, wedding anniversary, and birthday, we send out the gift certificate for the ice cream place. Oh. And we only get charged what gets turned in. So if I sent 50 cards for that month, but only 2 got turned in, then the ice cream place only bills me for 2. It's genius. Instead of like paying for Starbucks and you get 100 cards in advance.
Awesome. So you do this already?
We've been doing that for like 11 years, for a little while.
It was probably you on stage.
No, I was on stage I was on stage with Tristan and Nick. But Tiffany has a great question in regards to, she asked, what is the pricing if she sends a New Year's card to her whole database? If $39 gets you 20 cards, I asked her how big her database is, and she said 250. So what she's asking is how.
Okay, so it's $2 a card after that.
So 250 minus 20 cards.
Yeah. So also though, we do have one other membership. People are like, oh, well, if I send a lot of cards, can I get a discount? Well, we do have a $69 a month membership that drops the price down to $1.75.
So cheap.
and so that's the lowest that we can go. And then we also bonus 40 cards a month. So if you take 40 and put it into 69, it's like just under $1.75, but anything over is $1.75. So you can save a little bit of money that way as well.
So smart.
And if you want to send a box of brownies, and like these are gourmet fudge brownies that are absolutely delicious, by the way. And I like to put a PS at the bottom a lot of times and put PS, 12 seconds in the microwave and a scoop of ice cream equals heaven.
I love that.
They'll throw it in the microwave, they'll throw it, and then I'll tell you, I get more response off of that little PS line than anything else.
Well, you just wrapped up my 7 steps to a power note, because guess what step number 7 is?
What's that?
The power is in the PS. So your power is in the PS, meaning every PS, whether you say, warm up these brownies and put them into the ice cream, and then text me a picture of how delicious they are and put your phone number. Your power is always in the PS. Give them an action item. Give them an action item in order to do, whether that is text me, call me when you get this, and make sure you put your phone number. Yes. Do they probably have your phone number? They probably do. The power is in the PS always. So I love that you just said that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Also, the Google alerts, fun story. Apparently there's a really famous director named Barry Jenkins. So he steals all my Google juice. Like, I have nothing. I'm getting alerts on this guy all the time. That's okay.
I actually get Google alerts on myself and other people that I have that has nothing to do with them. But this is the thing. If someone just asked in the chat, why would you Google yourself? And I said, because if there's anything that comes up positive or negative about me, I want to know first. So I have, Tara Carter Realtor, Tara Carter Keller Williams, Tara Carter Fort Lauderdale, because what it does is the Google will alert you if Barry Jenkins, Virginia Beach comes up in the same article, it will alert you with an email. Like, I don't know if you guys think I just Google flamingos all the time and come up with these articles. No, I have a Google alert on flamingos. So if I see something that's interesting, I just post that. I don't have that much time in my hands to Google flamingos.
Now we just got to connect like Google alerts with Zapier and like just like auto post and
yeah.
Well, I've got to run, guys.
I got to run too.
I've learned a lot. So for what it's worth, super helpful for me. And I really appreciate you guys allowing me to kind of hang out.
Well, I appreciate you, and I'm excited for you to have a baby. So we want to see those pictures. And if anybody's listening to this webinar, your first card should be to Barry with a picture of his new baby. And the person who does that will get an hour free coaching session.
Oh, and before we wrap up, I will say this. Pictures on cards are really cool, but pictures on cards, if you don't really know the people, is kind of creepy. So don't be creepy. And so like all of a sudden, if I got a picture of my son in the mail randomly from somebody I don't know that just is following me on social media, I'd be like, yeah, that dude's kind of weird.
So just said that. About, I forgot what you said. It was like about the heart. automating the heart. Something I've been able to do is be general and specific. So we have a voicemail that goes out to our past clients on a Friday evening. It's part of our drip. And it's like, it goes out at 7:30 a year after they closed on their home. It's like, hey, this is Barry. It's been a while since we spoke. And I was going through my notes. I can't believe it's almost been a year. So I don't say their name, right? I say Friday night, right? I say, it's been almost, so these are facts, right? But so there are nuances and ways to do this to where, because not everybody's as aware of what's going on.
This is true. I would probably be the creepy person that didn't really know you that sent the photo anyways.
That's all right.
Well, before you guys leave, make sure you guys go to amcards39.com. Take advantage of the offer. If you have any questions, I know there was 2 in there that were asking about, you guys have the service. Reach out to Curtis. Him and his VIP team are here to help you. And yes, this is recorded and will be on YouTube. And we love you.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you all.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.